movieweb.com.
Viggo, you and Vincent Cassel embody these Russian gangsters, the dialect, the tattoos, just the general physical nature of the performance. Can you talk about getting into that character?
Well, it was an interesting. I mean, I like working in the movies because I learn about things that I otherwise wouldn't, either because I'm lazy or because, I don't know, why would I have access to those worlds? And in this case, there was a lot to learn, and it was very interesting. You know, not just the Russian language, which we speak in the movie, and particular slang and all that, but a way of being, you know. So I talked to Russian people before. They helped me with the translations and with the slang that a guy from the streets would use there, prison veteran, I guess you could call him. And but also the tattoos that you see on Vincent Cassel's character and on mine, they're a whole nother language that talks about a whole nother world. You know, it's kind of code. If you see one of those guys, you see their tattoos either on their hands or if you see them with their shirt off, someone who knows can read what they are. You know, it speaks to their geographical origins in Russia, their ethnic loyalties, their prison history, where they've done time, how many times, what their criminal specialties are. It was really interesting to learn about that.
This film is really about human trafficking and sex slavery and what's happening to these poor women in Eastern Europe and China and Darfur. And it's really something that we've not seen Hollywood really address. Why did you think this is a good story to tell now and kind of correlate that with working with David a second time?
Well, you know, the starting point is the sex trafficking industry, you'd have to call it, because there's a lot of money being made, and it's not just in those places. I mean, young women are taken advantage of in those places, but the main market, just like the main drug market, is in the United States and in Western Europe. Consumption of, you know, what is supplied to them, you know, by disreputable people is by us, is by people here. That's the problem. And the reason that the characters, this happens in London is because there's a lot of that happening there. But London is representative of the world outside of Russia, I suppose, in a way. And the subculture in the movie, which engages, among other things, in the sex traffic industry, are Russians, Ukrainians, and other Eastern Europeans, and Slavs, you know, Slavic peoples, who live in London and who have their own world, you know. In the end, it's a construction by David Cronenberg. It's his version of that, but there are a lot of elements to it that are quite true to life, and we worked really hard to research that and make it accurate.
How was this second experience working with David different than the first?
Well, it was great. I knew it would be rewarding because I enjoyed working for him on History of Violence. We really connected, like he does with all his actors, you know, because he gives you room to create and you feel part of the team. You don't feel like a guy who's just following orders, and you don't want to offer too many ideas because you might get shot down or you might annoy the director. No, he's a director who's confident about himself as a person and as an artist, so his attitude is just bring it on. What have you got to offer? And that's fun, you know, because you want to play. You want to give him material that he can consider or use, you know. And Eastern Promises was great. I mean, History of Violence worked like a dress rehearsal for Eastern Promises. And the fact that you know someone well and you have an understanding means you don't have to waste a lot of time trying to get on the same wavelength on the set, which allows me to be a lot more available to the other actors and the crew and the story.
Now, there are a few scenes in this film where you're naked and fighting and engaging in some pretty physical, physical play. And a lot of actors, I mean, even go back to your days with Lords of the Rings, don't really put themselves in that situation. Can you talk about why you want to get out there and maybe be naked on screen and really engage in this physicality?
Well, no disrespect, but I never said, and I would never say that I want to be naked. I have no interest in being naked on film. This story happened to have a couple of sequences that required it. You know, it was part of the scene, just like it required a woman in the one scene in the brothel to be so along with me. It's part of the story, and I didn't shy away from it because it would be wrong. It would have made those scenes less realistic than the rest of the movie, so it was a no-brainer. But I don't have any inherent desire to do that. I'm not, in that sense, an exhibitionist. I think I'm probably a little bit more modest than most people, believe it or not. And you know, I did feel a little silly doing it at first, but once you get into it, you're just worried about getting the scene right. You know?